kwenye misa maalum ya miujiza kutoka kwa Askofu Dilkumar kutoka Dubai hapo Huruma Grounds tarehe 24, 25 na tarehe 26 mwezi Agosti. Kutakuwa na nyimbo za kwaya, mwimbaji maarufu Rosie Ohon na Rapture miongoni mwa wengine. Kiingilio ni bure. Kuja upate miujiza tarehe 24 saa 11 na tarehe 25 na 26 mwezi Agosti saa 10 jioni.
I am here to show you how to do a proper paint job. Sikupaka rangi. But you need some cloth. Kufunika items ambazo zinaweza to get splashed on. And then you need newspaper to catch any drip. Alafu you must do surface preparations. Check for leaks, fill any cracks, etc. Higher tena, you need sandpaper so that your number 2 can sand down the surfaces. Hakikisha you have the right brushes for the job. You need to take over things that should not be painted. I always keep a small piece ready in case mtu kama huyu alete domo kubwa sana. Kisha you put an undercoat. Let the undercoat ikauke. Then and only then you pop the lid off the best quality paint and begin. By the way, my name is Peter Maragi, and me, I know about paint.
Enjoy the end of dry skin with the best Nivea body nourishing milk ever. Now enriched with more moisture than ever. Fall in love with the rich, nourishing care.
Now in a trendy new pack.
If you know that this is a road reserve, you go ahead and apply for a lot job, and you're given a piece of paper, then you go and you get a title deed. You know that that title deed is irregularly acquired. You are the criminal. In fact, instead of you trying to resist, you should be happy that we're not even trying to prosecute you.
Well, welcome back, Debate 07. Honorable Odinga, these are some of the images that are remembered of you as Minister for Roads and Public Works. Do you have any regrets looking back at that particular incident and looking at the situation in the city today, the bypass roads that were supposed to be constructed are not in place?
No, Linus, actually I don't regret, because those actions were in very good faith. There are bypasses. As you can see right now, the residents of this city are suffering. A lot of man hours is wasted on the traffic jams in the city. The traffic is not moving. A lot of money is also being wasted, fuel being burnt here.
As President, would you pick it up from where you left it?
Certainly, yes. Because what I've done is I've cleared all the bypasses of the legal structures which were constructed in those bypasses.
Let's say if the public transport sector is satisfied with this, and we have in the audience Mr. Dixon Mbugua, your question to the candidate.
Thank you very much. I'm Dixon Mbugua from the Matatu transport industry, and I have two questions. One borders on the infrastructure, particularly the roads, which are narrow and have never been improved since independence, and that is one cause of the traffic jams in this country. The other one is that if you are elected the president of this country, what programs do you have for the PSV transport sector in this country and the microeconomic sectors? Thank you.
The answer, Honorable Odinga.
Well, first, I, as you have seen, believe that we need to improve the infrastructure in this country. When I launched my vision, I said that the best way to fast-track development here is infrastructure. And I mentioned it 3 times, including roads, electricity, water, very important to economic development. Now, we need to construct modern highways. Like my plan here is to dual carriage the highway from Mombasa to Malaba and Busia for ease of movement, by attracting also private sector investment.
Do you have a time frame within which you do that?
We will start it almost immediately and do it in the next 5 years. We will commission it in sections and we will concession it so that they can introduce toll roads on that highway. That will release money which you are currently using to maintain that highway for construction of the feeder roads, the rural access roads in the rural areas.
Betty, if we could come up with your question again.
Thank you, Linus. Honorable Raila, my question is actually not about infrastructure or roads. I want to address the question of impunity. In your vision documents, you articulated a position on transitional justice in which you excluded the question of past human rights abuses. You have proposed to set up a Truth, Justice and Restitution Commission that deals with the question of corruption. But you have completely not addressed the question of human rights abuses. And looking at the persons that surround you in your presidential campaign and in your party, it is quite clear that some of those individuals have been responsible for human rights abuses in this country, and you yourself have suffered some of those human rights violations. Please address the issue about how you will anchor that commission in the Constitution and other institutions that support a democratic government that you have proposed in your vision documents, because you are proposing a parliamentary democracy.
Quick response, Honorable Odinga.
Betty, truth, justice and restitution does not preclude human rights abuses. We did not intend to include that. It is very much included there. And remember, we've been talking about abuses like Wagala massacre, like those Nyaya House tortures, and so many others. But what I'm saying is that this country needs to face its past and be able to reconcile itself and move forward. We cannot permanently be looking backwards. We must have a cut-off point and say, now we need to move forward. This is what I've been talking about. And that instead of setting up a commission like Goldenberg Commission on Inquiry, where you go and pour a lot of money without anything to show for it, the truth and reconciliation and restitution is a much faster way of dealing with this past.
But do you see, Honorable Raila, that those are the same people who will sabotage your presidency?
What I'm trying to say here is that, you see, NGOs are not on this earth. They are up there. Now, there are people who committed a lot of human rights abuses, but are willing to apologize and move on. That's what they did in South Africa. And I think they're able to reconcile the society.
Now, Honorable Odinga, there are many questions that Kenyans are asking for very, very specific answers. And let's just go to Kisumu, where we have Paul Okongo with another question.
What would you do to tackle corruption effectively in this country? What has happened in the past is that commissions of inquiry have been set up, but nobody has gone to jail. So how do you ensure that corruption in your administration is tackled effectively and to the satisfaction of the people of this country?
Well, remember when we started, there was a lot of commitment, but time was lost. First, the Kenyans themselves had very high hopes. They would arrest policemen at high roadblocks and frog march them to police stations. But the police force itself had not been reformed. We wasted too much time supposedly creating institutions and the legal framework, within which time the old corrupt network, which had gone underground, resurfaced and recruited new players, actors in the government. He said that the corruption the fight should start from the top, the president going downwards.
In that case, as president, what would you do about Goldenberg? What would you do about Anglo-Leasing? Both remain unresolved.
Because they remain unresolved because there's no commitment to resolve them. Because